Today I'm going to be showing you two secret techniques I learned on the bass guitar. They're not actually secret. The reason I call them that is my bass teacher taught me these a number of years ago, and I really don't see anybody using them or even talking about them that much. So I feel like they deserve more attention. So the first technique I'm going to be showing you is used to mimic the sound of flat wound strings. Okay, so strings basically come in two types: round wound and flat wound, if we're talking metal strings. And what that means really is every string is made up of a central piece of metal, a core, and another piece of metal is wound around it. So round wound strings, the core is round shaped. Flat wound strings obviously are going to be flat. And you really don't see flat wound strings being used anymore because round wound strings are superior in so many ways. They're clearer, they have a lot more depth to their sound, and they're really useful for recording because they can be used so diversely. Flat wound strings are kind of a one-trick pony. Anyway, so you would ask, why would we try and mimic the sound of flat wound strings? And it has a pretty specific use. If you're trying to play any music that comes from Motown, this is a really good technique because the bass player from the Motown band, James Jamerson, was famous for using flat wound strings, and he's a really prolific bass player. He played on a lot of amazing tracks, and you should really check him out. He's one of the best bass players of all time. Anyway, we're going to be doing this to mimic his sound pretty much because he used flat wound strings. So the technique is put your finger here and you pluck like normally, but you put these other two fingers, your middle and your ring finger, in front of your pointer, but don't press down with them. Only press down with your pointer finger. And this is going to halt some of the vibrations coming from the string, and it's going to create a more muted sound that is reminiscent of the flat wound strings. So listen. And this really only has one specific use, so it's not super important that you know this technique. I just think it's really cool. Okay, this next technique is a way to lower the pitch of the note you're playing by bending the string. Usually when we bend the string, we're creating a higher pitch, like this. Basically, the reason for this is we're increasing the tension of the string when we bend it, and the more tension a string has, the higher the pitch is going to be. So how do we lower the pitch? We got to loosen up the string. We got to create less tension. So the way you do this is, instead of pulling the string up and down, we're pulling it this way. So the technique is you put your finger down where you would normally put it, and instead of bending it up and down, we're going to try and pull back and forth this way in a kind of back and forth motion. So check it out. And this technique is actually kind of useless because most people aren't even going to hear the difference between that and a normal bend. I thought it was unique, I thought it was cool, so that's why I wanted to show it off. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.